Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, for another weekly roundup of anime. This being the week ending around the 25th of the 6th, at the very least, that is the time of recording. This is the first week of the end of anime for the season, because we have had quite a few start wrapping up, and some of them even made this list. Some of them are brand spanking new to this list. But it is late as hell, so we're just going to jump on into it. So at number 10 for the week, we have Diagonia. This week we got to see the start of the battle between the apes with our MC working with them against what is almost a salamander that was once one of these apes that's been corrupted into this all-consuming being. And it is so fucking cool. I want to use it as a D&D villain. When he is cut, chunks of him come off, and not only can they come back to the main body to heal it, they can also attack from there. Also, if you touch him, you start dying. If you cut him, your sword starts breaking. A wolf god bites him, drops to the ground. It is excellently done. But not as excellently done as our number 9, brand new in week 12 of all things, Compass 2.0, which is an ONA that is based on a shitty Chinese mobile game. I believe Chinese. I'm pretty sure it's Chinese. But the premise of it is that all of these characters from different worlds are being brought to the Compass world, and they're fighting to gain energy. I don't know what the energy was originally meant for, but at this point of it, we've been introduced to noise, which is used to corrupt the heroes into their most violent selves. We have seen several of our main characters, actually almost all of our main characters, be corrupted at one point or another. And we have had Loki come out. We've also, so all of these guys are, so this is a video game in the world. So the people in the real world pop up like our little blue haired dude Jin here, and they help boost their character's strength by playing cards and stuff, which is how the game is played on the phone. But now we've been disconnected from all of them, and Jin has come into their world as a physical object, because it turns out that his brother is the one that basically made the game. He did most of the original coding for it, at the very least. And when there was a car accident and Jin and his brother were very messed up, Jin actually should have died. 13, who is our, I'll be honest, he's the goth twink, was a angel who was meant to come in, take Jin to the land of the dead. His brother instead, because his brother pleaded for it. And Jin 13 basically lost his wings for that, and now we're seeing the repercussions of it. We also found out that Loki, which is an acronym that I cannot remember off the top of my head, has basically been stealing power from all of the fights and is now actually orchestrating fights to get extra power to start Compass 3.0. Is actually just going to wipe everyone's memories and reset it. But Jin reasons with him. He goes a little bit ballistic, and Jin at the end has merged with him. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm so fucking excited because I've got the last episode ready to go right now. But we're going to wait till tomorrow because, like I said, late as fuck. Next up on our list at number 7 is, God damn it, is Classic Stars. I don't have time to redo that. This week, and I have literally just finished watching this, Classic Stars has had Beethoven hospitalized for the entire episode, or by the last few minutes anyway. And it's been we're going to race for the final moments of this to get him to the station time for all of this to happen. and everything is going both very, very wrong and very, very right. So Mozart goes running off to try and find him. The Discord does so well that it's a showstopper. They cannot get the next band out, which would be Grand Maestars, to perform because the crowd is just so fucking hyped for Discord. So Mozart finds him, and Jesus Christ, these boys need to just kiss already. I don't even care if that wasn't the original intention of the show. These boys just need to fucking kiss already. Let it happen. Also, I don't have a picture of it. Discord's drip is just fucking on point, really. We get to see when they finally meet up. Beethoven gets struck by lightning, which is, hey, just put a guy some slack. And the figure skater that was Mozart made music for in like episode 2 or 3 shows back up and basically stalls out because he's like, no, I'm not leaving until this guy gets to come up and perform. And honestly, it was absolutely excellent. Next up on our list is Rock's Lady's Odyssey. Hey, it's actually out at the right time this time. This week in Rock's Lady's Odyssey, we got to see them trying to set up a new performance because they're a new band, they have no vocalist, and it's fun as shit to see them trying to work around everything. Alice has shown up and told them, hey, I know what's going on. You told me you'd let me know what's going on. You're stuck with me here. And so has become basically their gopher. But they found basically a boy band that's kind of really terrible who have come out and basically been like, hey, we want to use this space. You guys do battles here? We'll battle them. And because of that, we get to see the amazing moment of Alice standing up to the manager for this other band and basically being like, hey, as soon as my sister's band goes out, like, everyone's going to forget who your band is because we're that fucking good. A band member comes out, puts a finger on her, and I wish I could remember the main character's name out, comes out with a fucking metal chair and just tries to smash the shit out of him with it. Which is just, it's some beautiful sibling love right there. We get the last episode in approximately 24 hours. Next up, after it, is the Apocalypse Hotel. I thought this was going to be the season finale. This week we got to see our main desk jockey robot get sent on a holiday. Because, hey, you've amassed too much holiday time. It's not good for you either. And turns out they were right because she has parts that are falling apart. So she goes back to her manufacturing plant. No spare parts there. Not for what she needs anyway. The only one she can find is broken. And she finds a herd of horses or a flock of horses. We'll come back to that in a second. And she finds one more of her model in what I think is meant to be an airport. And thankfully, it has the last part. Then she decides she needs to go home, and the horses show up again, but they're not horses. They're Pegasi. Or Pegasus. Except they're the worst kind of Pegasus. They're actually pets for one of the people staying in the hotel. They're Pegasuses with dragonfly wings. And no, thank you. That is something I did not need in my life. This show just keeps on being so fucking wholesome. But also having this otherworldly, like, Pleasantville vibe going. I love it. I dread some parts of it, but I love this show. Next up, we have Fire Force. And Fire Force this week was pretty fucking dope. We got to see... We got to see what happened with Shinra basically being pulled into an Adola burst with our girl who can see the future. And, like, there's a big chunk of nothing important at the start which is the only reason that this is so low on this list. Because if the entire show was like the last 10 minutes of it, it would have been close to the top. But we got to see him go back in time to pre the first cataclysm, and he sees us. His animation gets really distorted. He almost looks like something out of Devilman Crybaby. Like his proportions are all distorted. There's flashes of actual pictures, and yeah, it was really off-putting. It was really concerning. It was really fucking cool. I really wish this wasn't the season finale, because he wakes up. It's been months. 5 pillars have popped up. He's only got 3 left to deal with, and I'm so ready the last season. Although I'm pretty sure it's just season 3 part 2, and I fucking hate it when shows do that so much. But after Fire Force, we have Can a Boy Girl Friendship Survive, which we are on this was our last episode of that too. And I'll be honest, I would have rathered what I thought was going to happen. Like, this was still an excellent way for it to end. But what I thought was going to happen was we were going to have a time skip to when we'd finished up our roles. Like, we were going to get a time skip to the flower accessory shop. No, what happened instead was we got to see the machinations of the womanizer friend, who apparently is not a very good womanizer, but hey. Because, right, they made both of them admit how they feel about each other. Not to each other, but they still made them admit it. And because they'd admitted it to somebody else, they could admit it to each other, which is great. But Himari still needs to go away. Except the womanizer comes out, throws a bag of money at the problem, and is basically like, hey, you wanted to take her because she has a big debt? Debt settled. And it was good. Like, just, there is something great about having a rich friend who can just throw money at problems, but only does it when his friends really need it. And it's just it's such a great trope. But yeah, this has been one of my 3 most look forward to shows of the season. Definitely need to check that out. But we are into our top 3 for the season, which means that we have Catch Me at the Ballpark. Catch Me at the Ballpark is actually tied for 2nd place because these things were dead on even, and I believe that they both are the season finales. So for Catch Me at the Ballpark, we got to see the repercussions of. Because it wasn't even repercussions. We just got to be told, hey, none of the game's passes really matter, so they're kind of blow-off games. But that in itself was cool, because the first chunk of this, we got to see that, hey, one of the other girls finished her teaching course. She's now leaving because she's becoming a teacher. Our second chunk was apparently a thing they do in Japan, that they get all of the players come in and dress up as different characters and just have a fun day of it. At the same time, we find out that the manager of the team is retiring, which, fair enough. That was kind of, I feel like that means a lot more to Japanese people, or people that enjoy sports. Maybe it's just I don't enjoy sports, so I didn't get it. But the really cool thing was the third part. The third part is all about the first game back for the next season. So at the end of the second part, we see the manager of the beer company, well, for this stadium, this beer company, get a call, and somebody's like, hey, we have a pink-haired girl that wants to work for you. And because of Ruriko, he's like, we have some upstarts here, we'll take her. And I love the fact that Ruriko has unintentionally altered policy on this, because the fact that they have a bleach blonde girl working here is probably a big thing. Like, Gyaru culture is a very niche thing, or gal culture is a very niche thing, and yeah, it wouldn't be appreciated in a lot of places. I'm a fan, but me and Japan are very different things. But in the third part, we got to see the first game back, where we got to see Ririko upset because it's actually the third game back, because the first two were played at other stadiums. We got to see her confront the office worker and asked him how many games he'd been to, and he's like, I've been to 2. Well, this is my second game. This is going to be my first beer. And that was really cute because they both get really bashful with it. And then we just started getting flashes to all the different characters that we've seen throughout the show. So, like, the sleazy guys are now sitting around with the old yelly guys. I love that dynamic because they're basically the same thing. Just older guys realizing that it's not okay, and the young guys just haven't gotten there yet. We get to see the I want to say Kojiro, the older batsman. His wife is now heavily pregnant, so we get to see her. We get to find out that the food seller is coming back for another season. We get to see the kids a little bit older, and yeah, it was just a fun time all around. Now we get to our tied for second place. You know it, you love it. It's Windbreaker. Of course, it was fucking Windbreaker. It's almost as obvious as what's first. This week, we got to see the round table, essentially. We got to get the actual history of Furin and why our added up guy from the last episode mattered so much. Because he was the remnants of the Chaos group from Furin when it was, what's the word? All brought together, like unified. Because there was an upstart group that didn't want to do it, and they didn't lose. They just left. They didn't get beaten. But it was basically a, hey, we're just going to stay out of each other's way. And this guy intimidates the shit out of all of them. But he's not the strongest one of them. And I love the intimidation factor of the strongest one of them. We only see him for like a minute at the end of the episode. But he's just beat the shit out of a bunch of guys because he wanted a higher place to launch his firework from. And I'll be honest, that scares the shit out of me. Like, for these characters, I don't want to have fireworks launched off my head, but for these characters, that's intimidating shit. They don't know yet, but hey, they're gonna soon. But last but not least, we have Superhero X, where we got to see the continuation of Queen, who is our 1 o'clock slot on this clock. Queen had to fight her predecessor, Boa, and Jesus, was it brutal. We also got to see how Queen and her friends are basically what saved Lucky Cyan because of connections. And I'll be honest, Queen, I'm not the hugest fan of her thing. She is basically the American woman from My Hero Academia, because whatever she is within her barriers has to listen to her rules, which, okay, I suppose. But I think we have some much cooler things coming up. She wanted to run out right at the end of the episode and get into the next match, but was told, hey, you've been asleep for a while, so that's kind of over now. Yeah. Honestly, this weird to say when it's still the top ranked thing, because the fights in this show and the animation in the show are just so on point that I can't bring it down further than first place 99% of the time. But Queen seems like she's a crossing over character. Like, we're waiting for the next thing to start kind of character. I don't know who's next. I don't know if we've got another episode of Queen left, but I cannot wait to find out. But that's going to be it for the week. It is late as hell, and we have 2 weeks left. The first episode of next season comes out on the 1st of July, so as of this time, 6 days from now. I cannot wait. I am so pumped up for the end of all these shows. Although we have like 6 different things that are still continuing on. Also, we dropped Witch Watch this week because it's just yeah. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, don't forget to hit that sub button and give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.